In a small town, on the eve of a cold, snowy New Year's Eve, a little girl wandered the streets. She was barefoot and dressed in tattered clothes that did little to shield her from the biting winter wind. The girl was a match seller, carrying a small bundle of matches in her apron. Her only hope for a meager meal or a warm place to stay was to sell these matches to the people bustling through the town, preparing for their New Year's celebrations. But despite her best efforts, no one paid her any attention. The streets were filled with laughter, music, and the warm glow of lighted homes. People hurried by, eager to reach their destinations, barely noticing the little girl standing in the shadows. As the night grew colder and darker, the girl found a corner between two buildings where she huddled to protect herself from the wind. Her hands were numb, and she could hardly feel her feet. In desperation to find some warmth, she struck one of her matches against the wall. The tiny flame burst to life, casting a warm, golden light. In the glow of the match, the girl imagined she was sitting in front of a large, crackling fireplace. She could feel the heat on her frozen fingers and toes. But as the match flickered out, the vision vanished, and she was left in the cold darkness once more. One by one, she struck more matches. Each time, the flames brought with them a new vision. A warm stove, a feast laid out on a table, a Christmas tree adorned with candles and presents. Each vision was more beautiful and comforting than the last, but they all faded as the matches burned out, leaving the girl colder and lonelier than before. Finally, she lit her last match. In its glow, she saw the most wonderful vision of all, her grandmother, the only person who had ever truly loved her. The girl's grandmother smiled down at her, arms outstretched, welcoming her into a place of warmth and peace. The little girl felt herself being lifted, no longer cold, no longer hungry. The next morning, as the town woke to a new year, they found the little match girl sitting in the corner, her small body huddled against the wall, her face serene and peaceful. In her hand, she clutched the remains of her spent matches. The people realized, too late, that she had died in the cold night, but with a smile on her face, as if she had found solace in her final moments. Though the townspeople mourned her loss, they would never know the beautiful visions that had accompanied her in her last moments. The warmth, the love, the peace that she had found in her dreams, where the cold of the world could no longer touch her. This story, though tragic, reminds us of the harsh realities faced by many and the small comforts that can be found even in the darkest of times.